The voice on the recorder wasn't mine, but it was calling my name. That was the first sign I wasn't alone in that abandoned house. I had gone there for a YouTube paranormal challenge. People said the place was cursed, but I didn't believe in ghosts. Cameras on, recorder on, door locked behind me. The air was cold, unnaturally cold. No wind, no broken windows, just silence. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, heavy, coming from the second floor. I whispered into the camera, "If someone is here, give me a sign." The footsteps stopped. 3 seconds of silence. Then a loud bang on the ceiling. My heart started racing, but I forced myself upstairs. Every step creaked, like the house was breathing. At the end of the hallway, I saw a shadow standing near a door. It looked tall, human. I called out, "Hello." The shadow moved. I pushed the door open. The room was empty. No furniture, no windows, just a dusty mirror on the wall. I walked closer and saw something that froze my blood. The mirror reflection wasn't matching my movements. I raised my hand. My reflection didn't. It smiled. I stepped back so fast I almost fell. My camera suddenly shut off by itself. My phone battery dropped from 80% to 3%. Then I heard a whisper in my ear. "You shouldn't have come." I turned around. No one was there. But the mirror reflection was gone. I ran downstairs, but the front door was locked from the outside. Then I remembered the recorder. I played it back. At first, it was just static. Then a voice spoke. My voice. But I never said those words. The recording said, "He is behind you." My blood went cold. Because I was alone, I slowly turned around and saw muddy footprints appearing on the floor, walking toward me. Step, step, step. But there was no body. The footprints stopped right behind me. I felt someone breathing on my neck. Cold breath. I whispered, "If you're here, show yourself." The lights flickered, and suddenly, a hand appeared on my shoulder. Not transparent. Real. Black. Rotting. I screamed and spun around. A tall figure stood in front of me. Face blurred like smoke. Eyes glowing faint red. It opened its mouth and spoke in a broken voice. "You recorded me. Now I record you." The cameras turned on by themselves. And I realized I wasn't the hunter anymore. I was the content. If you're still listening, don't skip, because what happened next still haunts me every night. The shadow grabbed my wrist, and my camera livestream notification popped up. Live, 3,421 viewers watching. But I never pressed live. And in the chat, one message kept repeating. "He is standing behind you in real life." I wasn't alone in the house. I wasn't alone in my room. And I wasn't alone while recording this story. The chat wasn't lying. Something was standing behind me. I didn't turn around. The livestream chat kept flooding my phone. "Don't move. It's right there. Turn around slowly." My breathing was so loud I was afraid the thing could hear it. Until I realized it was breathing with me. Slow, deep, patient. I felt fingers tighten around my wrist. Ice cold. Wrong. Like they didn't belong to a human body. The camera suddenly zoomed in by itself. The shadow whispered directly into my ear. "They can see you now." The chat exploded. "We see its face. It's using your shadow. Run." I gathered every ounce of courage and turned around. Nothing. But my shadow on the wall was still there. Standing. Smiling. And it moved, even though I didn't. The shadow raised its hand and waved at the camera. My live stream viewers jumped from thousands to tens of thousands in seconds. That's when I understood. This thing wasn't haunting the house. It was haunting the broadcast. The lights went out. Total darkness. Then, night vision activated automatically. Through the green glow, I saw something horrifying. The shadow had a face now. My face. Same eyes. Same nose. But the smile was too wide. Its mouth opened and spoke using my voice. "Stay with us till the end." Suddenly, comments started appearing that I didn't understand. People were typing their home addresses. One message chilled me to the bone. "It's behind me too." I tried to end the live stream. The button didn't work. Instead, a new message appeared on screen. "Host transfer in progress." The shadow stepped out of the wall. It was taller than me. Its body flickered like bad video footage. Every step it took, my chest tightened, like my soul was being pulled toward it. I screamed, "What do you want?" It replied calmly, "Permission." The room filled with whispers, thousands of voices layered together. Viewers, subscribers, previous victims. I realized the truth. Every person who watched till the end gave it access. Suddenly, My memories started playing on the wall like a projector. My childhood, my fears, my darkest thoughts. The shadow pointed at the camera. Choose. End the stream and stay here forever. Or keep streaming and let me enter their world. My phone vibrated violently. A final system message appeared. Stream cannot end until one soul is replaced. My shadow stepped closer and merged with me. I felt my body go numb. But the camera kept recording. If you think this is just a story, check behind you before the next part. The live stream finally ended. I was awake, but my body wasn't mine anymore. I tried to move my fingers. They didn't respond. My eyes were open, staring at my bedroom ceiling, but my reflection in the dark TV screen blinked before I did. My phone vibrated on the table. The scheduled live stream had started. Without me touching it, the camera switched on, and I heard my own voice speaking, calm, confident, emotionless. Welcome back, you stayed till the end. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. Inside my head, something laughed. The chat flooded instantly. He's different today. Why is he smiling like that? This feels wrong. My body stood up, walked toward the mirror. The thing inside me spoke softly, just for me. You wanted views. You wanted fear. This is the price. In the mirror, I saw the truth. My reflection lagged half a second behind. Its eyes were glowing faint red. Behind it, dozens of shadows stood pressed against the wall, watching. Previous hosts. Previous bodies. I felt memories that weren't mine. People screaming. Doors locking. Live streams ending. All of them made the same mistake. They watched till the end. The thing raised my hand and waved at the camera again. Type here if you're watching live, it said using my mouth. Thousands replied. The room temperature dropped sharply. Lights flickered across the city. Not just my house. Every viewer's house. The chat suddenly changed tone. Why is my TV turning on? I hear breathing. Who is standing in my room? The thing inside me grew excited. See, it whispered. Shared fear travels faster. My heart started beating faster. Not from fear. From control. For a brief second, I felt it weaken. I focused on one thought. You need permission. The thing froze. The smile on my face twitched. Inside my head, I screamed. You said you need permission. Silence. Then anger. The live stream camera shook violently. The thing growled. Then give it, or take someone else's. A poll appeared on screen by itself. Who should be the next host? Usernames started appearing. Random people. Real people. The viewers were choosing without realizing. I forced every bit of willpower I had and whispered inside my own mind. Take me back to the house. The room dissolved. Static filled my vision. And suddenly, I was standing in the abandoned house again. The original place. The mirror room. The shadows screamed. The thing panicked. No, this is where I'm trapped. I ran toward the mirror, smashed my hand into the glass. It shattered. Light exploded. I felt myself falling. I woke up in a hospital bed. Doctors said I collapsed during a live stream. They said I survived, but they were wrong. Because last night, my phone buzzed. A new notification. You have been added as a moderator for a channel I've never seen before. Channel name, Paranormal Encounter. And the profile picture was my reflection, still smiling. I wasn't the host. I was the proof. The voice behind me wasn't from the reflection. It was from my mouth. But I wasn't speaking. My body stood up on its own. The hospital room twisted, walls bending like melted plastic. Screens around me flickered to life, all showing different people watching the stream. Not past viewers. Current ones. Their faces were pale, frozen, some crying, some smiling. And behind every one of them, a shadow. Not the same shape, not the same size, but all watching me. The thing laughed. They think you're the ending. Suddenly, pain exploded in my chest. Not physical, memory pain. I saw flashes, fast, violent. A girl screaming in a dorm room. A man locked in a basement. A child staring at a tablet at 3 a.m. All of them watched till the end. All of them became doors. The truth hit me hard. There was never one entity. There was a network. The hospital alarm screamed. Patients ran through the halls, but their reflections ran faster than their bodies. One reflection tripped a nurse. She didn't get up. Her shadow peeled itself off the floor and stood upright. The stream UI burned itself into my vision. A new label appeared under my name. Primary node. The thing inside me panicked. No, you're not supposed to realize this. That was the mistake. Fear cracked. I focused on the viewers. On you. on everyone still watching. And I spoke, not out loud. Inside the stream. You feel it too, don't you? The chat froze. Then one message appeared. Yes. Another. Something moved. Another. My shadow blinked. The thing screamed. The hospital shattered like glass. We weren't in a room anymore. We were in a black space filled with floating screens. Millions of them. Each screen a watcher. Each watcher a crack. The thing finally showed its real form. Not a monster. Not a demon. A signal. Flickering. Corrupted. Hungry. Stories keep me alive, it hissed. Attention gives me shape. I understood. So I did the worst possible thing. I stopped being interesting. I dropped my head, closed my eyes, and went silent. No fear. No reaction. No story. The screens began to flicker. Viewers disconnected. The signal screamed as it started breaking apart. Don't look away. The darkness collapsed inward. I woke up. Normal room. Normal phone. No channel. No notifications. Relief. Then my screen lit up, front camera on. A message typed itself. Good. Now they'll watch you instead. And behind me, my shadow raised its hand and waved. My shadow didn't wave anymore. It stepped forward. I didn't turn around because I could hear it walking. Bare feet. Wet. Dragging slightly, like skin peeling off the floor with every step. My phone screen was black. Dead. Then suddenly, front camera on. My face appeared on screen. Except my eyes were closed. In real life, they were wide open. Something whispered directly into my skull. You stopped watching. That broke the rule. The lights exploded. Glass rained down. Every mirror in the room shattered at the same time. But the reflections didn't disappear. They crawled. Pieces of faces. Smiling mouths. Blinking eyes trapped inside broken glass. One reflection dragged itself toward my foot. It grabbed my ankle and pulled. My body slammed to the floor. Pain screamed through me, but the scream didn't come from my mouth. It came from the walls. Thousands of voices crying at once. I was being watched again, not through a stream, through me. The shadow finally stepped into view. It wasn't tall anymore. It was wrong. Its body looked like it had been stitched together from darkness. Arms too long, head bending at impossible angles. And its face kept changing. Every few seconds, it switched. A girl, an old man, a child, all staring at me with the same dead smile. We ended, I whispered. The thing laughed. A wet, choking sound. Stories don't end, it said. They transfer. The floor split open. Hands burst out. Real hands. Grabbing my legs. My arms. My throat. Pulling me down. Below the floor wasn't darkness. It was a room. A familiar room. My room. But dirtier. Older. On the walls. Hundreds of phone screens nailed like trophies. Every screen showed a person watching. Some crying. Some frozen. Some already empty. The shadow dragged me in front of a single screen. It showed you. Reading this. Breathing. Alive. They're closer than the others. It whispered lovingly. My mouth opened without permission. And I spoke to the screen. To you. Don't finish this. The thing screamed. Its body started tearing apart. Shadows ripping from shadows. Because warning you wasn't allowed. The room shook violently. Screens cracked. Blood poured from the corners of my eyes. The shadow lunged at me and bit into my shoulder. Not teeth. Faces. Dozens of mouths screaming into my skin. I woke up screaming. Morning light. Normal room. No shadows. No blood. I laughed. Relief. Then my phone vibrated. A single message. Unknown sender. No text. Just an image. A photo of my back. Taken right now. And in the mirror behind me, my shadow wasn't touching the ground. My shadow detached itself, and the pain started before it moved. It slid off the floor like liquid tar. The moment it separated, my spine arched backward on its own. Bones cracked. Not snapped. Rearranged. I screamed, but the scream echoed twice. Once from my mouth, once from behind me. The shadow stood up. Same height as me. Same shape. No face. Just a smooth, dark surface where features should be. Until something pushed out from inside it. A mouth. Sideways. Too wide. It whispered. Your turn to watch. The room inverted. Ceiling became floor. I fell upward. Slammed into darkness. Then light. I was standing in a crowded room. People everywhere. Silent. Frozen. All holding phones. All watching me. Their eyes were bleeding. Slowly. Casually. Like tears. I tried to run. They didn't move, but their shadows did. Every shadow turned its head toward me at the same time. Crack. All the necks snapped. Everybody fell, but the shadows stayed standing and started walking. I ran. The hallway stretched endlessly. Doors appeared on both sides. Each door had a name carved into it. Most were scratched out. Some were still fresh. Then I saw one. My name. The door burst open. Inside, a live stream setup. Camera. Lights. Tripod. And on the chair, me. Sitting. Smiling. Eyes black. The other me looked at me and spoke calmly. You survived the first possession. Congratulations. I backed away. The door slammed shut behind me. Hands burst out of the walls and grabbed my face. Fingers pushed into my eyes. But instead of pain, I saw images. Fast. Violent. Real. People in their rooms. Lights off. Phones glowing. Behind them, shadows learning how to stand. The thing's voice flooded my head. You warned them. So now they belong to you. My chest burned. A symbol carved itself into my skin. A broken eye surrounded by cracks. I screamed again. The scream triggered something. Every screen in the world turned black for half a second. Then came a notification sound. Not from my phone. From everywhere. New stream available. The shadows stopped. They looked afraid. The other me appeared beside me. Close enough to feel its breath. If you go live, it whispered. You pass it on. If you don't, the shadows rushed toward me. Fast. Too fast. I made the choice without thinking. I went live. The stream didn't show my face. It showed my room tearing itself apart. The camera angle kept changing by itself. Close-up of the door. Then the ceiling. Then the corner behind the bed. Like something was searching. The viewer count climbed insanely fast. 10,000. 50,000. 120,000. Comments flashed too quickly to read. Until one message pinned itself at the top. Don't let it finish moving. I didn't understand. Then my shadow twitched. Not walked. Not stepped. Twitched. Like a muscle spasm. My body reacted before my mind did. I grabbed the lamp and smashed it against the wall. Glass exploded. Darkness rushed in. The shadow screamed. Not one voice. Many, layered, overlapping, panicked. The floor split open. Black hands shot out and dragged the shadow downward, but it grabbed me back. Cold claws sank into my ribs. Something snapped inside my chest. I tasted blood. The chat went insane. It's half in. Don't look at it. Close your eyes now. Too late. The shadow's face finished forming. It wasn't human. It was familiar. A collage of faces. People who had watched. People who had commented. People who had stayed. Their mouths opened together. And spoke one sentence. We stayed till the end. The walls peeled away like wet paper. Suddenly, I wasn't in my room. I was inside the stream. A massive black void filled with floating screens. Millions of them. Every screen showed someone sitting exactly like you are now. Reading. Watching. Breathing. Behind half of them, shadows were already standing. The thing grabbed my head and forced me to watch. Fear spreads faster when shared. It hissed. A screen zoomed in. A girl screamed as her lights shut off. Another screen. A man froze mid-comment as something leaned into frame. Then the shadow whispered the worst thing it could say. You can stop this. Hope flared. And that was the trap. Just finish the story. I felt it pushing memories into my head. Endings. Fake relief. Closure. I bit my tongue until blood filled my mouth. Pain snapped me back. I screamed, not fear. Rage. I lunged at the shadow and shoved it into the screens. It howled as fragments tore off. The viewer count started dropping. Screens went dark. Shadows screamed as they lost shape. The thing panicked. No, don't break attention. The void collapsed violently. If your heart rate just changed, don't pretend it didn't. I woke up on the floor. Phone cracked. Stream ended. Silence. Then a soft sound. Behind me. A slow clap. One pair of hands. Not the shadow. Something else. A calm voice whispered. Good job. You almost killed the weak one. I turned and saw another shadow. Older, darker, perfectly still. It smiled. Now meet the original. The original shadow didn't move. Reality moved for it. The moment it smiled, my teeth started chattering on their own. Not fear. Control. My jaw snapped shut so hard blood filled my mouth. The room folded inward like paper crushed by a fist. The walls didn't fall. They bent, screaming like metal. The shadow finally spoke. One word. Enough. Every sound died. No breathing. No heartbeat. No thoughts. Then pain returned all at once. I was slammed into the floor so hard my vision fractured into shards. Each shard showed a different version of me dying. Neck twisted, eyes gouged, shadow crawling into my mouth. None of them felt imaginary. The shadow stepped forward. No glitching, no distortion. Perfect, ancient. Behind it, thousands of smaller shadows knelt like insects. "You've been entertaining," it said calmly. "But attention isn't food. Submission is." My body lifted off the ground. Invisible hands pulled my arms apart. Something sharp pressed against my spine. Not a knife. A finger. It pushed inside my body, and began writing. I screamed as symbols burned themselves into my nerves. Every symbol triggered a scream from somewhere else in the world. Hospitals, bedrooms, dorm rooms. People collapsed simultaneously. The shadow smiled wider. Synchronization achieved. My phone vibrated once. Screen cracked, but still working. A message appeared. Live resumed. No opt-out. The camera turned on. This time, it wasn't just showing me. It showed behind you. The shadow leaned close to my face. Its breath smelled like dust and old electricity. "They think boredom protects them," it whispered. "Disinterest is just another doorway." The floor beneath me disappeared. I fell through layers of screaming faces. Each face bit at me as I passed. One face locked eyes with mine. It was a child. It whispered. I skipped the middle. I slammed into darkness. Hard. When the light returned, I was standing upright. Not in control. My mouth opened. The shadow spoke through me. Directly to the viewers. "To you. Check your shadow." Instantly, I felt it. A violent reaction. Millions of people moving at once. Fear spike. The shadow laughed softly. "See?" My fingers snapped backward. Bones broke. But my body kept standing. The shadow stepped inside me completely. No resistance. No fight. Perfect fit. My thoughts shrank. My memories blurred. One thought stayed sharp. This isn't possession. This is replacement. The viewer count stayed at 1, because only one of us was real now. I couldn't move. Not because I was scared. Because I was already gone. My body stood straight, calm, breathing normally, but I was watching it from somewhere behind my own eyes, like a passenger trapped in a skull that wasn't his anymore. The shadow settled inside me completely. No pain this time. Just silence. The kind that comes after screaming stops. The phone lifted itself. Front camera on. Perfect angle. The shadow spoke using my mouth. Slow, polite, almost kind. "You stayed." The room behind me changed. Walls melted into darkness. And suddenly, there were millions of rooms, layered on top of each other. Every room had one person. Every person had a shadow. Some shadows were still flat. Some were standing. Some were already wearing skin. The shadow inside me smiled. "This is the end you wanted." I tried to scream, but the scream came out somewhere else. On one of the screens, a girl dropped her phone. Behind her, her shadow stepped forward for the first time. She didn't even turn around. She already knew. The shadow continued calmly. "Stories don't scare people. Endings do." My hand raised, pointed at the camera. "At you. Look at your shadow," it said gently. And something shifted. Not in the room. In you. That tiny hesitation. That instinct to check. That's when it happened. All across the screens. Shadows detached. Not violently. Not suddenly. Like a decision finally made. People froze mid-movement. Mid-blink. Mid-breath. Their bodies stayed. Their shadows didn't. The viewer count flickered. 1. 1. 1. Always 1. Because the moment someone realized what was happening, they were no longer watching. They were being used. The shadow leaned closer to the camera. Its eyes, my eyes, were empty now. "There is no next part," it whispered. "Because now it's interactive." The phone slipped from my fingers. The stream didn't end. It just moved. Away from me. Into the dark space behind your screen. My vision faded. Not to black. To reflection. The last thing I saw was my body walking away. Perfect posture, steady breathing. Leaving no shadow behind, that if you felt the urge to look behind you at any point, it already knows where you are. And this story didn't end when you stopped reading. It ended when you stayed till the end. If you enjoyed this horror story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more terrifying stories.